Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. This is the English translation of the Majlis of Hazrat Maulana Qamar Uzzaman Saheb Damat Barakatuhum, which took place on Thursday, the 24th of Rabi'ul Akhir 1445, corresponding with the English date 9th of November 2023. Hazrat Wala starts off this Majlis by quoting the ayat of the Quran Majid, فَنَادَى فِي الظُّلُمَاتِ أَن لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا أَنْتَ سُبْحَانَكَ إِنِّي كُنْتُ مِنَ الظَّالِمِينَ. Hazrat Wala is saying, or quoting that ayat, and then thereafter translating it. He translates it, यानी यूनुस अलैहिस्सलाम ने अंधेरों में पुकारा कि तेरे सिवा कोई माबूद नहीं, तू पाक है, मैं बेमौका काम करने वालों में हूँ. Hazrat Wala is saying, speaking about this ayat, La ilaha illa anta subhanaka inni kuntu min al-zalimin. He says that sometimes Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab used to say that ye zaruri nahi hai, this is not necessary that this is everybody's hal. Even one person out there, this way or that way, his hal comes mutabiq, coincides with what is the demand of this particular ayat. The barakat of it is such that it will be sufficient for everyone put together. I can remember back in the day, Hazrat Wala is saying that flood or such rains which led to the flood in that area Diyar, the days of Fatehpur, that we came out from the masjid at that time because of danger, and we went out to stand in the open fields. At that time there, Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab, what did he have? He had the Ruhul Ma'ani in his hands, and he was speaking about this ayat here, La ilaha illa anta subhanaka inni kuntu min al-zalimin. You know, our village there was actually below that a particular line, so it became more vulnerable there with this type of situation, with flood, etc. Here where we are presently, ye to unchi zameen hai, we are on a higher location. And towards the end of his life, Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab used to make talqeen, instruct this ayat abundantly, meaning reading the wazifa of it, this La ilaha illa anta subhanaka inni kuntu min al-zalimin, and the Sayyidul Istighfar, and purity and being straight, clear and clean in one's muamalat, transactions and dealings, or after all of that, darte rehna chahiye, then too a person should always be in fear. You know, there was a buzrug, and he used to pass by the way, where he had to get from one place to another. He had to pass by the house of this immoral woman, fahisha aurat. And in a very taunting way, she used to say to him that, tell me, is your beard better or is the beard of my goat better? Batoretans. Nevertheless, he would never answer. Just before he passed away, he said to those around him there that, listen, when I pass away, take my janazah past the house of this woman. Nevertheless, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala must have inspired him to say such type of words, and after he passes away, when his janazah is taken past the house of this woman, Batore Karamat, Allah Ta'ala let this miracle with his permission, at the hands of this mayat take place, where he sits up and he speaks at that time there, that I couldn't answer at that time, but now, because I've passed away with Iman, let me answer you now and tell you that, listen, my beard was better than the beard of your goat. Allahu Akbar. Because his Iman was Khatama bil Khair, he passed away with Iman. And what is happening now, presently, those were great people, but nevertheless, the tariq is this, tariq haqq. La ilaha illa anta subhanaka inni kuntu min al-zalimin. Now here, if you just look at the translation, Hazrat Wala is saying that tarjuma ki kitni riayat ki. Hazrat Tanvi was so considerate when he was carrying out the translation of this particular ayat. How does it read? فنادى في الظلمات أن لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك إني كنت من الظالمين. यानी यूनुस अलैहिस्सलातु वस्सलाम ने अंधेरों में पुकारा कि तेरे सिवा कोई माबूद नहीं, तू पाक है, मैं बेमौका काम करने वालों में हूँ. Yes, Hamashuma, for you and I, it's definitely inni kuntu min al-zalimin. We are from amongst the oppressors, those who had wronged themselves, those who had oppressed themselves by carrying out sin. But look at the riayat, because this is a Nabi of Allah, that मैं बेमौका काम करने वालों में हूँ. I'm from amongst those who does things uncalculated. I do not do things, I do things out of place. I do things not at the right time or at the right place. That's how he had translated it, taking so much of consideration that this is a Nabi of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, how many times we must have heard these articles and these mazameen, but what can I tell you, that is martaba mujhe wajdaya. Going over this translation, I feel that spiritual ecstasy and the state that overwhelms me. Now, how many people Hazrat Wala is speaking about come here to the Sangam, just here where the rivers meet, Ganga and Jamna, and they come there to see, etc. Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab was so disturbed by all this type of thing that people used to come from Bombay. And I'm saying all of this here so that you can understand to what I am trying to put emphasis and lay importance to. That you people have come here to the Majlis, but at that time their people would come. And then Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab used to ask that where's certain person? And then we would find out that this person is gone. He's gone there to the Sangam to do this or to do that, to do the other. So you people have come. It shows that you attach importance to this Majlis. Today, where is the importance? And I also attach great importance to these type of majalis. So فَاسْتَجَبْنَا لَهُ وَنَجَّيْنَاهُ مِنَ الْغَمِّ. So we accepted from him and we saved him from that grief and sorrow. وَكَذَلِكَ نُنْجِي الْمُؤْمِنِينَ. And इसी तरह ईमान वालों को najat diya karte hai. And we will continue giving salvation to the people of Iman in this manner. Allahu Akbar. وَكَذَلِكَ نُنْجِي الْمُؤْمِنِينَ. We would continue giving najat to the believing people, to people of Iman in this manner. Now here, Yunus alayhi salatu wassalam did not ask for something clearly or openly. Lam yatlub sarihan. He did not ask for something clearly. I mean, look at it. What is he saying? He's saying, La ilaha illa anta subhanaka inni kuntu min al-zalimin. But he praised Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and he acknowledged in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala weakness and vulnerability. And just upon that, showing that and expressing destitution, need, etc. in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala took that, praising him and expressing weakness and humility in the court of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah ta'ala accepted that as the request, and in answer to it, Allah ta'ala gave him what we all know he gave him, and he blessed him what he blessed him with. Nevertheless, I was telling you about Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Saheb and how he used to be so amazed, rather surprised, rather confused that what's happening here? Don't these people find, the ocean is there in Bombay, etc. But what to do and what to say? Today there's no one to even say this type of thing. You know, when Maulana Abrarul Haq came, a few people, just a few people came, due to which I came to understand that deen ki na qadri hai. That was the calculation, nothing else. There wasn't importance or appreciation or value that was attached to the deen. There was nothing like that. That's why for such a great personality, just a few people came like that. And there are so many that they don't even miss one majlis. So that's the one side of the coin. And on the other side, you would find so many that they would never miss a majlis, whatever happens. Hazrat Abu Hurairah radiyallahu ta'ala an used to suffice on just a little, But खूने दिल पीने को, लख्ते जिगर खाने को, यही ग़िज़ा मिलती है जाना तेरी दीवाने को. Myself, Hazrat Wala referring to himself, saying that there was no thing of a snack or food or this or that, or what can I even tell you? But when you do that, there will be qadar, appreciation, importance attached to the deen. Rather, there would be importance attached to yourself, because you are the one who is involved. You are the person who is there. I must to mention this one point here. I'm just looking at it at the top of the page. We're speaking about looking after the majlis. We're talking about looking after your iman, your Islam, qadar of deen. So Hazrat Wala says, अपनी चीज तो अपनी आंख ही निगरानी कर सकती है. Your commodity, your item can never ever be looked after by anyone else other than your eye. It can't be looked after by the eye of anyone else. It's your item. It's supposed to be looked after by you. And then Hazrat Wala says that I've got a lot of experience in this year. So many times I've heard about this year, maybe seen it, that a person is there, he asks someone to look after his bag. He leaves his bag, he goes. When he returns, this person here is saying, I don't know who took it from here. He may be honest, but he did not attach importance to it. It's not his bag. It's not his bag. He's not going to check it with that type of an eye. So this is your iman, your Islam. This is what Hazrat Wala is trying to say. Nobody can look after it other than you. You're going to have to look after that. Nevertheless, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the tawfiq and the hidayat of listening and understanding. Allah ta'ala create within our hearts and our minds, within ourselves, this affinity toward with the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Deen ki baatein se munasabat hi nahi. Today there's no affinity. A person doesn't have any type of affinity with the deen. And then he would go on to say, Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab, now eventually tell me, what thing is there that is not in Bombay, that is found here in Allahabad? You know, Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab used to just say one word or one sentence. I would stand up immediately, go to the shelf, I would take out the kitab, and exactly where the mazmoon was, I would open the page. In fact, people would go on to say that, what is this here? Is this some type of kashf that you get? Hazrat hardly even says something sometimes. Or he may even say just one sentence. Did you even know? Or what is going on here? People would take it in that way. And that was Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab as well. He would never allow one majlis to go of Hazrat Tanvi. When he was there in Tana Bhawan, he would attend every single majlis. One day, in the majlis, Hazrat Tanvi comes, and while speaking and conducting the spiritual discourse of his, he goes on to say that there are some people that attend my majlis. Their spiritual state is such that they don't even have any clue or idea of the dunya and what is in the dunya. That's how they are. Hazrat Khaja Azizul Hasan Madzub, he comes and he says, Wasiullah, you know Hazrat is actually indicating and referring to you when he said that. Do you know that? Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab used to say in the Khanka, he was a person, if you had to look at him, very unassuming. And people would even go on scolding him. You get different types of people. Hey, what's wrong with you? Shift up here. They would do this or do that. Someone scolding here, someone shouting here, etc. You know, you would have that there where people would sleep, or the eating place, etc. in the Khanka. And then he would just say to himself that, or he would say to our Hazrat Wala, that I went there to get reprimanded. That's what I actually went for Islah, to Hazrat Tanvi. So if somebody else reprimands me, shouts at me or screams at me, I came for that. There's no problem whatsoever. I actually came for that. So Hazrat Wala is saying, فَاسْتَجَبْنَا لَهُ وَنَجَّيْنَاهُ مِنَ الْغَمِّ. Kya umda ayat. What an amazing and a wonderful ayat. You know, Shafa'ul Mulk, Hazrat Wala is referring to some Hakim who used to come and do the ilaj of Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab. He was a great alim as well. He was attend the majlis as well. And it was his remark. What was his remark then? What did he have to say? He had to say that regarding Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab and his majlis and his discourses, that ye ilmi tasawwuf hai. This man here, this personality, his majalis or his tasawwuf is absolutely ilmi, knowledge. Hakim Ajmeri used to also come, and he would also benefit tremendously. What can I say? In their hal and the way they would enjoy the majlis, wo log jhoom jate the. You know, that hal, their body would go this way to that way in that ecstasy, in what they would listen, in the joy that they would achieve from the talks of Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab. These people, great personalities, used to come and sit in Hazrat's majlis, but today there is no munasabat. Are we seeing? Do we know how many people are becoming shaheed? And it is our people. It is your people. Kuch ne kuch dua to karo. At least, the least you can do is make some type of dua. And all of this is from the side of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. However, in all of this year, we have to fulfill our duty which we owe, rather which is on our shoulders, that we have to do and hand over is due to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We have to carry out apna wazifa purna karna chahiye. Jab there is a person, when there is a person in the east and he is in some type of difficulty, some type of grief and sorrow, the one who is in the west is also troubled by that. Sari hadith hai, this year is a clear and open hadith. Ghaliban, most probably. Nevertheless, Hazrat Tanveer writes one nukta there in his faida. He says that क्योंकि जवाब में फस्तजबना लहू फरमाया, जिसके माना है सवाल पूरा करना, that we answered for him. We answered for him. From that we learn that we have fulfilled what he asked for. What he asked for. Now we understood already from the top. What did he ask for? Yunus alayhi salatu wasalam did not ask for anything. Rather, he praised Allah and he had acknowledgement of weakness, deficiency, and i'tiraf. Praise of Allah and i'tiraf on the other side. So Allah Ta'ala gave him whatever he wanted to give him. And what did Allah Ta'ala give him? Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala done so much of good to Musa alayhi salatu wasalam, in the sense that he we're understanding this point here. The first point is that Musa alayhi salatu wasalam done good towards or to the two daughters of Sayyidina Shu'aib alayhi salatu wasalam, and he did not desire, neither did he ask. He did not even think or intend any reward from them. No recompense whatsoever. Rather, after he watered their animals and gave them water, he turned to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and he asked of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He did not ask from the two of them. And whenever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is asked for whatever he is asked of, then Allah ta'ala gives. وَالصُّوفِي مَنْ يُوَفَّى مِنْ نَفْسِهِ وَلَا يَسْتَوْفَى لَهَا. A Sufi, in the true sense, is the one who fulfills everybody else's rights, but he never ever asks for his own right. Hey, listen, you're supposed to do this for me. Don't you know you have to do this for me and that for me? No, never ever. So Musa alayhi salatu wassalam fulfilled from his side whatever he had to do, but he asked for nothing. Therefore Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blessed him with a complete reward. Rather, Allah ta'ala hastened for him it in this dunya extra, over and above what he was going to give him in the akhirat, in the sense that he married him off to one of the daughters of Shu'aib alayhi salatu wassalam. وَجَعَلَهُ سِهْرًا لِنَبِيِّهِ شُعَيْبٍ عَلَيْهِ الصَّلَاةُ وَالسَّلَامُ. And he made him the son-in-law of Shu'aib alayhi salatu wassalam. So Allah Ta'ala gave him al-jaza'ul akmal in this dunya, hastened it before whatever he is going to enjoy in the akhirat. And Allah Ta'ala, from amongst that, he wedded him off to one of the daughters of Shu'aib alayhi salatu wasalam. But specifically here the word mentioned is he made him the son-in-law of Shu'aib alayhi salatu wasalam, who was a Nabi. وَآنَسَهُ بِهِ حَتَّى جَاءَ إِبَّانُ رِسَالَتِهِ. And he made him acquainted like that in this manner until such a time that the appointed time of his nubuwwat had then arrived. Therefore, ayyuhal abd, O servant of Allah, فَلَا تَجْعَلْ مُعَامَلَتَكَ إِلَّا مَعَ اللَّهِ سُبْحَانَهُ وَتَعَالَى. Therefore, do not attach your dealings with anyone other than Allah, like how we learn from the waqia and incident of Musa alayhi salatu wassalam. Then what will happen? Allah Ta'ala will honor you like how He honors His pious servants. You know, here on the word damad, Hazrat Wala is speaking about to be damad and son-in-law of a great personality. Here we're talking about the Nabi of Allah, Shu'aib alayhi salatu wasalam. This damadi is an honor of in its own. You know, it's nothing to, actually not for me to say, Hazrat Wala is saying. And thereafter he goes on to relate. I was in Medina Munawwara and I came. Hazrat Sheikh Zakaria invited me. Nevertheless, I came. And then while eating or before he started, he said, Shah Saheb ke damad kaha? Where's Shah Saheb's son-in-law? And everybody understood that he was referring to me. They said, Hazrat is here, we got him here on this dastarkhan, he's going to eat with us. He said, no ways, not at all. Bring him here, he's going to eat with me. And then he brought me and close to him, and I ate with him every day then. His ma'mul there was from Asr to Maghrib. He would have Majlis. Somebody would read the kitab, and Hazrat Sheikh Zakaria would listen attentively. In all of that, it's a long duration. You know, in Haramain, the Asr is read in awal waqt, and then there's plenty and ample time right until you come to the time of Maghrib. So in that time there, he would have that urgency to then go and relieve himself, due to which the Khadim would understand just the sign, due to which immediately he would stand, take him, lift him, and then they would leave. People would then complain, but the Khadim was alert, he was sharp, but people do not understand. Nevertheless, Hazrat Wala is saying, I spoke to the Khadim personally after that day, that if that one, because that urgency, that old age, bimari, this, that, the other, if that qatra had to then come out, he would be so pareshan and become so restless, and then you know what comes with it. Then washing up again, washing the clothes, etc., this, that and the other, due to which bahut pareshani hoti thi. Hazrat Sheikh would become very, very restless. He would be disturbed completely and totally. Hazrat Wala is saying, Hamko tora tajruba ho gaya. I had some type of experience like this myself, due to which I can understand and relate with that. Now look at this here. So, bande, just listen to that again. I just quoted the Arabic to you now. فَلَا تَجْعَلْ مُعَامَلَتَكَ إِلَّا مَعَ اللَّهِ سُبْحَانَهُ أَيُّهَا الْعَبْدُ. So, bande, अपने मुआमला अल्लाह ही से रख, नफ़ा वालों में रहेगा, और अल्लाह तेरी वही खातिर करेगा जैसी मुत्तकी बंदों की फरमाए. Wallahul, Hazrat Wala is saying, Wallahul muwaffiq. Or Hazrat Wala has in his copy there written there, Wallahul muwaffiq. Allah Ta'ala give us that tawfiq, that insan, do not attach your matters, whatever it may be, let it be directly with Allah. You will become from those who profit abundantly. Saying that there, Hazrat Wala is saying, Kya umda mazmoon? What a wonderful article. You know, there are some people, they even stayed with the mashayikh. Lekin, betuki ki baatein karte hai. Such lowly type of a talk and such, you can't even understand. what type of talk they are betuki ki baat. They would say, people who stayed with mashayikh, saying about these majalis and these gatherings, these spiritual discourses, let me use that word, that kya zarurat hai, what is the need, whereas they stayed themselves so many years with the mashayikh. Nevertheless, Hazrat Wala then goes on speaking about this person. One of the shuyukh entered on him, and he finds that he has his earthen pot in the sun, the one that he would drink from. So it was said to him, now what's this here? So he went on to say that, listen, I put it there when the sun was not there. And presently, I find it, I feel ashamed that now I must go and walk in the name of fulfilling the rights of my nafs. Meaning, what type of talk is this? And what is this here? What type of bahaduri are you trying to show in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when Allah ta'ala has given you rukhsat, Allah ta'ala has made ease for you, etc., etc. So know well, the sheikh there was making nakir, that I entered on this person and I found this type of a thing. You should stand up and move it into the shade. So here, what this person was doing, he was doing it out of takalluf. He was doing out of takalluf. And Allah Ta'ala is saying, Yuridullahu bikumul yusr. Allah Ta'ala intends ease with you. Wala yuridu bikumul usr. Allah Ta'ala does not intend difficulty with you. What can I say? This kitab, I can actually say that this is one of the works of Hazrat Tanvi. We know the kitab is of an Arab alim, but I am saying it is one of the works of Hazrat Tanvi. So some people are so foolish, quoting that example there, making nakir and refuting it there. Hazrat Wala is saying some people are absolutely foolish. Like a person who takes an oath that I will walk to Makkah barefoot. It will be totally and completely permissible for him to wear shoes and go. And it will not be necessary for him to walk barefoot, because he will cause nuqsan and taklif to his body, rather to his feet. And the Shariat has not come to tire the servants of Allah. That is not the khas maqsad of the Shariat. And it has not come to prevent the servants of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from some type of ease and some type of basic luxury. And how can we say this in the first place when that there has been created for them? So a person drinks water. He's drinking water, the water is cold, and he thanks Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is absolutely what is desired. Rabi ibn Ziyad al-Harithi says to Ali radiallahu ta'ala, help me what my brother asks him. Ali radiallahu ta'ala asks, what seems to be the matter? He goes on to say, I don't know what's overtaken him. He wraps himself with one blanket and he covers himself with another blanket, trying to show some type of destitution or some type of his own type of a piety. So Ali radiallahu ta'ala said, summon him, bring him here to me. So nevertheless, he was brought and he came in the same way that was described above. Rather, he was dusty and dirty, disheveled, due to which Hazrat Ali radiallahu ta'ala frowned and he said, alas, Don't you even feel ashamed of presenting yourself like this to your wife? Don't you have mercy on your children that they will look at you in this condition? And have you not seen that Allah Ta'ala has made the tayyibat permissible for you, and you dislike that you should take from there something? And have you not heard of the ayat of the Quran Majid, Wal arda wada'aha lil anam, that this earth, we have kept it for humanity. This dunya that we have created it was for insan. You are making it haram upon yourself. Until he recited up till the wordings, يَخْرُجُ مِنْهُمَا اللُّؤْلُؤُ وَالْمَرْجَانِ. Nevertheless, Hazrat Wala there then cuts that article and stops there, saying that is waqt Musalman musibat mein hai. Presently the Muslims are at difficulty, they are challenged, they are in trial and tribulation. You know, we're speaking about lazat. You know, sometimes at this functions or this or that, we go out in what type of a way that we start now making cards. I think to myself, Hazrat Wala is referring, I could be wrong there, to an invitation card. Now, these are layani cheese, you know. Min husni islamil mar'i tarkuhu ma la ya'ni. From the beauty of the Islam of an individual is that he abandons that which is futile, useless, and has got no benefit whatsoever. And then Hazrat Wala goes on to say, especially for people like us of the Khanqa, we should adopt that of sadgi and simplicity. We should adopt that. Wallahu a'lam. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم بحرمة سيد النبي الكريم صلى الله عليه